weather turned into the most horrible weather you can imagine. That's me, 30 kilometers deep into 50k ultramarathon, soaking wet and freezing cold. But why am I doing this? I started running when I was 18 years old, running for fun with no certain goal. But somewhere deep in me, I wanted to find out what's my body capable of. How far can I go? So it all changes today. It's done. I'm really doing it. I just paid the admission fee, there's no turning back now. Only 30 days till start. I better start training right now. Unfortunately without her, she's an indoor-only cat. No time to ease in. Day 1, 1,300 vertical meters in 6 kilometers. And that is my today goal right there. It says 3 hours and 30 minutes. Let's see if we can do it under 2 hours. Today I wanna stay the entire time at around 145 BPM, which is the higher limit of my zone 2. And that means that I will be power hiking the entire 1,300 vertical meters to the top. Because that's exactly how I will be competing in the actual race, to have at least a slight chance to finish. If I were to run faster, I would burn through glycogen, spike lactate, and destroy my muscles too early. Because a 50k ultra is not a fitness test. It's an energy management problem. And Zone 2 allows me to use fat metabolism instead of depleting precious glycogen. 750 vertical meters on just 3.5 kilometers. It took me around an hour, which is quite a good pace in my opinion. Last few meters and we are at the summit. And even though it's the middle of May, we still got some fresh snow yesterday. Crazy. The race course is almost entirely on a mountain ridge, so running on similar terrain is the best preparation I can do, instead of chasing pace on hard roads. (2,186 meters above sea level. This is Baranec. Overall, it took me only 1 hour and 41 minutes, which I'm pretty surprised with, because it's only the beginning of the running season. And my heart rate stayed within upper zone 2, lower zone 3 the entire training. 1 month isn't exactly a lot of time for a lot of training, but I will try to squeeze in as much trainings like this as I can to have the best chance that I possibly could. Ooh, it's not the uphill that killed me. My quads are on fire right now. I think I will need to hit the gym more seriously. And that's exactly what I did. The gym is not really a new territory for me. I've been lifting for more over 10 years. Long before I ever considered running for serious distances. But when I started training for ultra, I knew there's an adjustment to the training plan that has to be done. Currently I'm training 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I split the trainings by muscle chains. So one training is anterior chain, which basically means that all the muscles that are in front of the body. That means hack and squats, weighted dips, handstand push-ups, leg extensions and leg raises. And the next training is posterior chain, hamstrings, pull-ups, lower back hyperextensions, calf raises. Focusing on strength rather than volume. 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps per exercise, and that's it. The reason I split it this way is simple. I still need to run the next day. And if I hammer the whole lower body in one session, I will be sore for next 48 hours. Splitting the training in front and rear means that I can train hard, run hard, and still recover in parallel. The race is exactly in 3 weeks, and what I have already found out that it's not about the result of the race. It's all about these small adventures that comes along the way. Today is another perfect day training in the mountains. In terms of endurance, I'm feeling pretty good, but what's been bothering me for the past few runs is the inner thigh muscles. I feel like I'm getting cramped the second I started running. What I can do is to incorporate more stretching into the training to compensate for the runs and strength trainings. But now let's finish this run because the best part of the run is just right in front of me. This is my evening stretching routine. I've been trying to do it every day. First of all, I roll on the roller to lose the inner thigh muscles because that was been bothering me the most lately. Then the world's best stretch because it hits hips, hamstrings and spine all in one single move. The pigeon pose is perfect for loosening the glutes, especially after long runs. Followed by a deep hamstring stretch. Try to hold it for at least a minute to lose those tight muscles. And the last is the standings quad stretch. With all these stretches combined, I just hope the pain will go away soon. With only 2 weeks left until the race, I wanted to get one more long run in and nail down the nutrition once and for all. I am on one of my last 3 long runs that I can do in the actual training block, and I've decided to scope the actual racetrack that I will be competing on. I know the views are pretty shitty, but at least I can get to know the course better. But let's talk about in-run nutrition, because it is just as important as endurance when it comes to ultra running. The answer for the nutrition question are carbohydrates. They are the fastest energy for my body, and the goal during races or training is to take at least 60 grams of carbs per hour. What works best for me is to mix my own sports drink, because the ones that were already premixed were too sweet for me. What I do is to buy a big bag of maltodextrin and fructose, because maltodextrin and fructose are accepted by the body by 2 different pathways. So it means that your body can absorb more carbs, and also the maltodextrin is not overly sweet. For the taste, I usually just add a little bit of lemon juice to make it a bit sour, because that's what I like, and electrolytes. But in order to reach the desired 60 grams of carbs per hour, you can't just rely on drinks. You also need to focus on bars or gels. And these ones that I'm currently trying are the perfect gels for me, because one single gel like this contains 45 grams of carbs, but also 0.7 gram of sodium. For me, the electrolytes are so crucial, because I sweat a whole gram of sodium per 1 hour of peak activity. And low sodium is what causes the worst that can happen for you on the trail, and those are cramps. So in order to avoid cramps, you don't need to supplement that much magnesium. You need to add a lot of sodium to your diet in run and also pre-run. Yeah. Oh, I just saw the Slovakian mountain goats. And this is Jumbier. With 2045 meters, is the highest mountain in this mountain range, and it's also the highest point of my today's run. From now on it will be just downhills for, I think, around 14 kilometers. That's gonna prepare my legs for the actual race. Nízke will be the last aid station. So if I make it here during the race, it will be only like 5 kilometers left. So if I make it this far, I'll be pretty much surprised with my result. As my friend once told me, if I ever get bored of the sweet taste of the girls, I should try a non-alcoholic beer. They only had alcoholic here. Let's see what that does 20 kilometers deep into my run. A few days before the race, I met with my friend Roland. He's run more ultras than I can count, so when he talks, I listen. I'm here with my very good friend and even a better runner that has already completed a CCC around Mont Blanc. Do you have any recommendations for me for my first 50k ultra?
Yeah, I think the most important thing to have in your mind before is to trust yourself, that you put so much work into this that you can trust yourself, your legs, your body. That's the first thing. If you don't trust yourself, this is not good a sign before. Be yourself, you know what you did, you know what is your pace, what is your heart rate in every condition, in steep, uphill, downhill. Very good thing to have is like to trust your nutrition. A lot of people are underestimating it in terms of like 2 hours just drinking water. I think every hour you should put in some good amount of carbs, at least 1 gram per kilo. But, the last thing I connected a bit now is don't try new things during the race. And I think this is one of the most common mistakes people do, that they use poles for the first time during the race, or they use the gels, the new ones, you know.
I should take it just like another training day, not experimenting, just going with the things that I'm already used to.
Yes, of course, because then you can, after the race, you can debrief, not during the race, like you're playing with your nutrition, with your pacing. The work was done, and now, it's time to play.
Okay. Thank you so much for your advice.
Good luck.
1 week before the race, I went for the last long run. The inner thigh was still not 100%, but I couldn't go into the race without testing myself on a proper mountain terrain, so I drove up to the High Tatras. I am at the summit and I've literally waited 30 minutes to have some views, but today is another day with views like this. Luckily, at least here the clouds clear just enough so I can see the valley that I've been hiking. All these switchbacks in a complete whiteout. Now I can see the Nízke Plateau that is over there, which is a lake of a glacial origin. I started all the way back at that lake, and after this small detour, I'm gonna follow a route that is going all the way around this mountain. The lake was still bothering me, but surprisingly it didn't limit me on the trails. 13 kilometers in the run, I've made it to another glacial lake. This is called Nízke Plateau. It's so beautiful. And that mountain in the clouds that's behind the lake is the highest mountain of Slovakia, Gerlach. Unfortunately, you cannot see it right now. What always amazes me is the amazing turquoise color of these glacial lakes. It's so inviting and calling you to jump right in. Unfortunately, it's a national park, so it's not allowed. I have 45 minutes to catch a train that is going from that small village. It's 7 kilometers. This is gonna be pretty tight. Ooh, this is gonna hurt. But right as I stepped onto the hard tarmac road, the pain in my left leg appeared again. But there's still hope it will get better. As I've told you, the hard tarmac really killed me, and the pain returned to my injured leg. Luckily, a friend of mine suggested that I should visit her in her work for some laser therapy, and she would also tape me the day before a race. I haven't been running all week to rest the leg and to conserve as much energy. I can still feel the leg is not 100% healthy and ready, but it won't get any better. Let's see how tomorrow plays out. To save some time in the morning, we slept right near the starting line. First time I could actually see the course I had been training for. After a terrible night of sleep, I was not feeling great. Nerves and rain didn't help either, but I'm not the kind of a guy who backs out. And so, the UTMB 50 begins. My heart rate was 20 beats higher than usual. I had a headache. I felt ill. The only thing keeping me going was the energy of the group.
3.5 kilometers in, and we are gonna get completely drenched. The forecast was so right.
The rain turned the beautiful single track into a slippery slide.
This was supposed to be the best part of the first stage, but so far I can see only clouds and my feet is nothing but the mud. This would have been such an amazing trail, but with the current conditions and the rain, it's almost just as slippery as ice.
Then, around kilometer 8, something clicked. The headache disappeared, my legs finally woke up. Time to actually enjoy the course.
Got a good refill at the first pit stop. Grabbed the brownie, grabbed the banana. I'm around 10k in. The legs are feeling so far so good. It's only a marathon left. And now I'm off to the biggest climb of the whole course. I think around 600 words. Yeah, gotta stay slow here. And finally, this is the summit of the biggest climb. Now it's like 12 kilometers with just 500 words. Let's put in some runs. Moving time 2 hours 15 minutes. Nutrition is on point. The weather is just as shitty as on my trainings run, so I guess I could say I'm prepared. The terrain is a bit worse than I remember, but so far I'm holding pretty good. I would really love to show you the amazing landscape that is around here, but not today, maybe next time. On these flats I'm averaging 5 minutes and 40 seconds pace per kilometer, so the kilometers are really flying by.
Smooth and steady on the flats, controlled on the uphills, and surprisingly, I was still enjoying the course.
Half marathon done. I can definitely feel the legs a little, but other than that, it's not really that bad. I just almost took a wrong turn. Whew. All nutrition still as planned. Let's see what's ahead of us.
The scenery hadn't really changed. Soft dirt single track, one foot in front of the other, running on autopilot. And just when I was starting to feel dry again, I ran straight into the worst storm of the day.
That was checkpoint number 2, but the weather turned into the most fucking terrible weather you can imagine.
70-kilometer winds, rain, and only 5 degrees Celsius. Never in my life have I been more grateful for a pair of gloves.
30 kilometers in, non-stop rain, basically from the start. There's not a single inch on my body that's dry. This thing is coming in handy because I'm starting to shave in my private areas. So I'm glad that I bought the loop, because 20 kilometers isn't exactly a short distance till the end. So better be looped up than sorry and can't walk tomorrow. Shit, this trail is nasty.
Every runner I passed gave me a little push, but the cold and the rain were draining me fast. And just as I was about to hit the wall, the clouds cleared, and with them a second wind.
Back in that valley I can finally see my hometown, which means that the end is more close and close. I'm afraid the last part, basically underneath the ski lift, it's gonna be steep. How the fuck can this be enjoyable? Wait. Woo!
Huge thanks to my friend Alex, who not only lifted my mood out there, he also shot this footage. The second to last aid station at Chopok
Ciao.
came into view, and standing there,
Ciao.
my parents.
Daj pivka.
After hours of sweet gals, one sip of a beer felt like a heaven.
Ja mám čas. To vyzerá, ako keby sme oslovali už cieľ. Ešte nie?
Finally, this is the weather I had been hoping for, where pain and exhaustion just fade away into the landscape.
That was the second to last checkpoint. Got my parents there, got my friends there. I've refilled my electrolytes, had a salt, and I feel like I have a brand new legs now. It's only 12 kilometers, not even that much. Till the end, there's a good chance that I will see my girlfriend in the finish line. Let's go! That's the motivation. Finally having these views, it's such a big moral booster. You can't even imagine how good the sun feels on my body.
This is the furthest I had ever run, a completely new territory.
I've just officially run a marathon. It's the 42Ks and my legs are officially done. My stomach is also screaming from all the sugar that it had consumed. 7 kilometers more and I'm just praying to see the finish. At this point, it's freaking survival.
I reached the Stefanička hut, unaware of what's still ahead of me.
The last aid station. I'm done. The worst fucking part of trail. This is fucking nonsense. Why are we ending like this? And there's still one more uphill to go. 5 more kilometers. Even though I had enough sodium, I just feel like the muscles are ready to cramp up.
A small waterfall crossing. At this point, nothing was going to surprise me. Or was it?
Why am I again going uphill? I'm so done you can't even imagine. And I still need to get there and last downhill. They always say the worst for the last, because this is just going down a ski slope. How the fuck can this be enjoyable? Parkour. Ahoj, koľko ešte?
20 cm už si dole.
Jaj,
Už čapujú.
ďakujem.
And then, after almost 50 kilometers and 2,700 vertical meters, the finish line. And the person that supported me the most, my beautiful girlfriend. After 7 hours and 49 minutes, the race is done. But for me, this is just the beginning. Thank you for watching.